So I'll come back in, unless I should show some of this. Maybe I'll come back in with you in your process. Okay. Okay, cool. So, hi.
Hi.
Where are you in this?
So I am weaving some strips in, and I am thinking a lot today about slowing down. And just like the pressure I put on myself a lot of the time to do things really fast, and I feel really impatient about things not happening fast enough a lot of the time. So I'm just weaving in my intention to take this moment to slow down, be with myself as a choice and as a sort of thing that has to happen right now. And also find ways to be with my people. So like really soaking in this moment with everyone, and you know, talking to my friends on the phone. So kind of, just really focusing on being in connection, going outside, going on walks, the rain, letting the rain wash some things away right now, and get things nice, get the land really really ripe for planting a new life.
Are there any ways that these colors or materials or textures are supporting you in any piece of that?
Yeah, they're like muted and kind of pastel-y colors. So I think like softness is something that we've been talking about and thinking about. So this like feels soft to me, and the paper kind of has a texture. And I think it was painted by my friend Alexandra, so that's nice. She's embedded in there too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So maybe it's also an invitation to go even slower than you already were, since that's the teaching that's coming through as we're going in the rhythm. Thank you. Does anyone else want to speak out where they're at in their weaving right now? And it's the kind of thing like, if that would be supportive for you, we want to hear. Go for it. Is that Ilana? Yeah, go for it. Someone who's working with fabric right now. Is that anyone in the room? Okay, great. We've got Ilana and Razy. Okay, and Anya also. Some things that Ava and I wanted to talk about, or that we had thought about, is sometimes with weaving, I'll want like a contiguous thread. So I tied knots, and it just sort of depends how quickly I want to go, and there's different ways of thinking about that. But I tied some knots end to end for some of my ribbons, and for me, each different color and each texture represented a different part of the story of what I was bringing back in. And yeah, I guess for me, like I'm sitting a lot in, and I'll be sharing with you in the end a meditation from Rumi on a new gown. But we're just coming off of Purim and sort of putting on a new mantle or a costume in order to reveal truth. And so I'm playing around a lot with, similar to what you were saying, Danielle, like permitting myself to be in those gossamer threads, like in the finery, and actually also seeing in the mirror that perhaps I even already am, even though I might be wearing a tattered cloak that fits an old story on the outside, like sort of playing with that theme a little bit. So I wanted to attach some of these threads end to end to support that new grading in for myself. But I also use some to attach like this this silk flower, or you can play around with that. Like you can leave one hanging and then pick it up later on. So it could be that you're in the middle of a thought thread with yourself. So Ava and I have been talking, Ava was saying, we've been talking about softness. But when I get to a bumpier part in my story, I need to drop that thread, switch to burlap to be honest about the roughness, and then I'll pick up my pink silk ribbon again. So you can play with that as you're going as well. If you're having fun with the flipping, we can also play around with like braiding a few together and then using the braided one through, or other kinds of manipulation in that way.
I was actually just thinking too, when you were sharing, Arielle, that like each of the threads that you wove in are also woven with out of tinier threads.
That's awesome.
So like you're saying, you can combine the threads to make even bigger, like braided threads, and also in the other direction, more micro scale, like each of the threads you're using is a woven thread.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Awesome.
Just thinking about that.
Oh man, that gets me thinking about just like inherited story and how, right, the stories I inherit are also composite threads already, back and back and back and back and back, like a tree, and like, what am I pulling out when I'm braiding, or twisting, or knotting? Because maybe I want it in the fabric, but I want it to be knotted so the energy stops at a point. Or,
So just a quick check-in. Are we feeling like in a groove and want to keep working together in this space? Are we feeling like we might want to start winding down to our closing in a few? Raise your hand if you're still very engaged in working and want to stay here. Raise your hand if you're winding down and almost ready for a closing. Blue's great. I'm using tape because that's what I have. Yeah, either one of those is great.
You're right. If you want to put on your new mantle, put on your new breastplate, whatever you've made, and show it off or hold it up, we'd love to see it. Brought a Rumi poem to close. Let's see, is there anything else? I have this little bit of a feeling of like, I guess just taking a moment to make a body memory of what it feels like to have a protective layer of what you made close to your heart. And to remember that whatever's going to unfold in the coming hours, you have creative capacity and a playful mind and able hands, and you'll be able to make yourself a membrane to protect you, and a memory of all that what you're bringing, and a chance for silliness and relief, and other kindreds, other friends who are a phone call or a Zoom call away. And just to like even take a minute to feel what that feels like to hold. We'll read it. This comes from Rumi. It's called A New Gown. You can close your eyes and feel your new woven structure, or you can just look at all of us as you like. Sure. I'll jump in.
Weary and consumed by longing, I was caressed by my beloved last night. My wounded soul was set free when I tasted the sweetness of love. My spirit was lifted at once. I surrendered my life, while overflowing with joy, and my vision was filled with light. Love said, "Don't feel so hopeless, my weary and gloomy one, for my generosity is beyond forgetting those devoted to me. See how boundless divine justice can be. Behold my immeasurable kindness. Love embraced my spirit, and all my doubts vanished at once. A new and glorious robe of honor was placed on my shoulders. Love offered me the power of new vision and the transforming touch of divine generosity, and placed the chalice of eternal wine in my hand.
I have the perfect gift for you. It's a gown of new colors, of colors perfectly suited to you and no other. The colors of this gown will make your eyes sparkle and gleam as though they were more beautiful than the most precious of gems. The colors of this new gown will make your skin seem luminous as if lit from within. For of course it is, beautiful angel. Your complexion is radiant with the light of life. Your hair will shine with luster, and your entire being will be complemented by this gown, as it enhances your beauty in all ways. So hold on no longer to that shabby, tattered cloak so unworthy of you. Cast it off. Let me grace your shoulders now with this royal robe instead, that you may shine beautifully as befits a royal child of divine parentage. Ah, beloved, if you could only see the incredible gift, the symbolic robe being offered to you now, your fears would quake and tremble, disappearing more quickly than you could imagine. Your heart would take wings and become so light that your entire being would lift clean off the ground and soar like an angel bird amongst the playground of the Divine Mother's skies. Yet, like a young one, so much younger than your years and wisdom warrant, you may hold on to your tattered robes as though they were a security blanket. Though you know it's time to let it go, you may take pause and have a moment of doubt. You may wonder if the new robes will descend swiftly enough, or that without what you have known to cling on to, you'll be left stark naked, exposed and vulnerable. These thoughts are not worthy of your status, but perhaps you're yet to realize that you're of most sublime royal lineage, that you are worthy of a cloak of galaxies, a crown of stars, a body of sacred earth, and a voice of stirring music. You may be craning your neck to see who it is that can bestow permission upon you to receive a gift of such dignity. In whom is such authority vested, that you may no longer be as the beggar, asking for scraps and contenting yourself with stale crumbs? You may simply decide to shed that, stand up, to walk with your head held erect and with regal grace, and assume your place at the table of divine feasting. Remember that your royal birth certificate is stamped in your heart. There is no authority required, no permission to be granted. You are what you are already and always have been thus. All that is required from you is to realize it. We'll close with just a few deep breaths. May we dedicate this time together, this patience and connectivity, connection to self and others, as a garment to be worn in the coming weeks. And may we dedicate this experience just out, and may it ripple beyond and beyond. Really, really good to be together. We'll stick around for a few more minutes if you want to hang out and feedback about your experience, or just share something from what's on your heart. And sending the rest of everyone else just so much love, and hope to see you virtually or physically as soon as we can. Take good care. Bye,
guys.
Much love.
Bye.